last time these two countries played against each other was in the T20 World Cup earlier this year. But of course, a lot has changed since then. Not the least of which are the changes that have been made to the players on both sides of the squad. Now, of course, India has also got a new head coach since then, and they're coming into this tournament on the back of a very good run in 2023. Welcome to Bat Center Live. I'm Supriya Singh coming to you live from the Wankhede Stadium, and I'm joined today by Shibani Bhaskar and W.V. Raman. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's so nice to have you here.
My pleasure, Supriya.
Good evening.
Well, it's a momentous occasion because these two teams are coming against each other after a very long time. We'll talk about the expectations, of which, of course, there'll be a lot. But who are the primary players that you're very interested in seeing today?
Shefali Verma, of course, for the simple reason she's an exciting player. And
Shibani, what about you?
I'm really looking forward to Mahika Gaur. She was amazing in the A series. 17-year-old, bustling, tall, fast bowler.
It's the bowling core for the Indian team that has gone through a major overhaul. What do you make of the debutants who will be featuring in this particular series?
I'm really excited to see what they have to bring. We have the likes of Saika Aisha.
Well, do you think that because of the previous few matches that have taken place over here, Raman, there'll be any sort of tiredness in the pitch?
not really, because he's got enough time for the groundsmen to.
India is playing England that any cricket fan would need. But if we still had to look at it, this does look forward to the T20 World Cup that is due to take place in Bangladesh next year. So coming from that perspective, this is going to be a very important place to start preparations.
Absolutely, especially for India with the new coach coming in.
Right. And how important do you think it's going to be that we play Australia right after this? So it's basically two very difficult teams, and Australia are, of course, the defending champions.
It's terrific, because when you get to play two strong sides back to back, and when you got a few youngsters coming into...
You know, you mentioned the WPL. It's also very interesting that we saw so many of these players shine in the WPL. Shreyanka Patil, Saika Ishaq, right? And now they're getting a chance over here. And it already shows that the Indian selectors are also making some very brave choices, giving them such early entries into the team.
And it's also important that they get the opportunities, and that's something the coach Amol Majumdar from there.
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at the playing 11 from Team India to see who's going to get the opportunity to shine. Mahika Bhatia was someone who missed out on the Asian Games. She's gotten back into the squad for this particular tournament, but she's not in the playing 11. Instead, Richa Ghosh has been given the task of wicket keeping.
It's nice for Richa Ghosh as well. Look, they've done...
Yeah, even when the coin went up for the toss and Harman won the toss, you could
Right.
hear the roar of the stands. So it's quite amazing, and definitely it's almost playing like with a couple of extra players. So you have the 11 on the field plus 2 or 3 players. It cheers you on, it motivates you, and it inspires you to give even more.
Right. Well, in case you just tuned in, Harmanpreet Kaur had won the toss and she elected to bowl first. Well,
In international cricket, so definitely coming into this game, we have the auction on the 9th, so she will be putting her hand up.
Raman, there are other players as well, right? Like Maya Boucher, who's also had a very good year so far. So there are going to be people who are going to be looking out for these players as and when they play to see how well they perform. Because
of opportunities opening up for players. Freya Kemp for sure. Mahika Gaur, I'm sure people will...
Anjum, I absolutely understand that emotion. Well, clearly a lot of action on the field that's going to lend to a lot of action off the field in the WPL auction that's due to take place on December 9th. What all can you look ahead to? Let's have a look.
A Path Brahma and Sports 18.
So don't forget, WPL auction live on Jio Cinema on December 9th. Now, the WPL did make a lot of heads turn and make a lot of headlines, especially because Smriti Mandhana and Harmanpreet Kaur, India's captain and vice-captain, were among the most expensive players in last time's auction. And Raman, they will be the stalwarts who will once again speak about Harmanpreet, because she has had a stellar year, both as a captain and as an individual performer. I mean, she's been a big aggressor as far as the middle order is concerned for Team India.
She's at her best when she's aggressive, when she's uninhibited, and she's allowed to play.
You know, in the power play, Shibani, Shefali Verma, India's star opener, is going to be against Mahika Gaur, someone who is very miserly with her.
In 2023, she hasn't been as aggressive as she has been before that. So I'm sure she'll be looking to up that ante, but it's going to
Shanka Patil getting debut wickets and limiting, or rather helping to set the target of 198. Welcome back to Match Central Live. I'm Supriya Singh with Anjum Chopra. Anjum, this is not the first time that Nat Sivabrant has helped to get England out of a tight spot. She did the same thing in the T20 World Cup, and she's done the same again today.
She just keeps reminding the entire Indian audience that, you know, if I'm playing for the Mumbai Indians, then on the all-rounder chart. So she is such a consistent performer. So once those 2 wickets went India's way in the very first over, especially of Renuka Singh Thakur, everyone would have thought, right, we are into this top order. And then March is in Nat Sivabrant. She knows exactly how to play the situation, how to control the innings, and at the other end, Danny White, how to maneuver the field.
Right, and of course it helps to have Danny White, because with that strike rate of hers and with the way she was really able to maneuver the entire field, she showed why she's once again going to be someone whom everyone...
The other ground, just down the ground. So I know how impactful she has been, how destructive she has been, and it's just a reminder here again of her skill level.
Well, India have a big target of 198 to chase down, and it's a little worrisome that Smriti Mandhana sort of hurt herself while fielding.
Shouldn't be too much of a concern, because then you can wear your pads and start to bat out.
Well, we genuinely hope that she does come out to bat, because she did look like she was good to go. Well, 198 is the target that Team India is going to be chasing down, so stay tuned, because we are going to go back to live action right after the break. The first T20I goes to England. Welcome back to Match Centre Live. I'm Supriya with Shibani Bhaskar with me. Shibani, a lot of positives though still in spite of this defeat for India.
It was good that, of course, Shafali Verma got a half-century.
Right. Do you think the difference was also somewhere Sophie Ecclestone, who's come back from an injury and she really wanted to make an impact? I mean, 3 wickets and a great economy today.
And it's very difficult when you come back, especially from the fielding perspective, to put your... As you mentioned, the economy rate was fantastic. She just really pegged the batters back, and they didn't have answers to her bowling.
Right, and I think it's also worthy to mention, of course, Shafali Verma. She came out as an opener, and it was lovely to see how much she rode every single dot ball. But in the end, she really started to look tired, right?
Not so much tired. She was...
Right, and also the Indian team lost Smriti Mandhana very early on, and just when it was looking like both she and Shafali were building on to a good partnership. Do you think that also had something to do with the fact that, you know, we'd spoken about this earlier, that she wasn't feeling all well, and then she also had that injury to add in the... This is also incidentally the 5th time that Nat Sivabrant has gotten Smriti Mandhana out, so she clearly knows how to get our vice captain's wicket. But also at the same time, when Harmanpreet came, it looked like, you know, a good partnership was building up yet again, because she bided her time and then she started getting the boundaries, but she again was really set up.
Well, she was batting brilliantly.
Right, well, this first match is a... Natalie Sivabrant scooping up all the awards there, no surprises. Let's take a quick look at how the match played out. In the first innings, it was...
The innings was the way she paced it. Normally, she's only one gear. She just goes all out. And what we saw her do differently was the fact that once she decides to accelerate. And that's exactly what happened. There was a time where she was a bit slow. It was the middle part of the innings, and then she went berserk and she made up. And at one stage, she had a strike rate of 150, which is perhaps the highest strike rate for her in recent times.
Right, and those are the kind of numbers that are going to make everyone sit up and probably bid very hard come December 9th, because that's really reminded a lot of Mumbai Indians why it's so great to have her in their team.
Yeah, she was number 2 on the most runs in terms of score.
Well, on the day of the WPL auction, there's actually entertainment galore, because later on at 7 p.m. the same day, you will get to see the second T20I. And then I'll come to the bowlers after.
I think they need to try and up their...
It's not all bad news. We do have a lot of positives coming out of this match, especially the fact that Saika Ishaq and Shanka Patil got wickets on the day of their debut for Team India. So that's going to be a big
innings in this game.
Raman, do you anticipate any changes based on everything that we've observed today in the India playing 11?
I think in a way that is something the team has to think really hard about. Because if you make any changes, it'll dent the confidence of some youngsters. You got to try and give them confidence. So, which means what I'm suggesting is they got to try and play the same combination, see how it pans out, and what it is that they're capable of doing. If you're going to really drop the youngsters after one game, you're going to do a lot of damage as far as their psychology is concerned, because psychologically cricketers like to take some time when they get into international cricket. Not everybody embraces international cricket straight away, but these things do happen in cricket. But it's all about nurturing the talent you have, supporting the talent that you have. They've been included in the side because they're good enough. But if you're going to be really judgmental after one game, that's not going to do anybody any good. It's not only about these girls. The girls, if they are dropped, that's not going to really help them. Also, for all the cricketers that are following this happening, will not be really encouraged much if something of this nature happens. So for everything considering that you got to encourage the talent that you have in the squad now, and also to try and give a bit of confidence for the others in the wings as well, you got to stick with the same combination. Yes, one tactical change is fine, but otherwise I don't think you should really make too many changes because you lost a game.
Well, there's encouragement definitely for the Indian team and encouragement for the Indian cricket fans as well, because this was only the first T20I. There are two more to go come December 9th. First at 2 p.m. you can see the WPL auction, and then later the same day at 7 p.m. you can catch us on Jio Cinema for the second T20I match. Our coverage will begin at 6 p.m. though. Thank you so much, Raman, and thank you so much, Shibani, for joining me. And thank you all. We'll catch you later. Good night.